Sri Lanka's future in e-commerce. Sri Lanka's future in e-commerce. That's our title. We have the founder of the largest e-commerce organization and set the bar for Sri Lanka's online business strategies and web-based benchmarks. Possesses strong technical skills that fuse innovation and new technology-based business models in Sri Lanka. We have an advocate of improving government policies on tech startups and intellectual properties. Could you please put your hands together and welcome on stage the founder, chairman of Kapruka.com, Mr. Dulith Herath.
Hi guys, it's amazing to see 2,200 very smart people. I feel like forgetting the speech and taking myself a selfie with everybody up down there. So, just give me 10 minutes of good attention. You are here to take something home with you. So let me try to inspire at least, I would say, out of these 2,200 people, at least 100 to 200 people to actually start your own e-commerce company, to start your own e-commerce company and become a competitor to me. So future of e-commerce in Sri Lanka. I made these slides about 2-3 hours before the presentation, so they're pretty fresh out of mind. About 100 years ago, this world was controlled by emperors and kings. And about plus 30 years, the world was controlled by about 60,000 global companies. And in the next 10 years, it's going to be controlled really by internet companies. Google, Facebook, Uber, you name it, right? Pretty much everything now is pretty much controlled by the internet companies. So e-commerce, there's no reason for me to come here and keep saying, look, e-commerce is growing fast, e-commerce is going to be big. We all know that, right? But what I want to focus today is about how to be inclusive in e-commerce. What I mean by inclusive means Hamadenatam e-commerce. How can everybody take part of e-commerce? People like you specifically who are into tech to be part of e-commerce. I'm talking about, everybody thinks when you say e-commerce is Amazon and buying a product online, getting it delivered home. No, it's about just the E. And any commerce. Okay, it could be a taxi. It could be getting a health checkup. It could be a lot of things. It's just any commerce that is done with an E. All right, so let's see what's going on. In Sri Lanka, it's going at 115% year on year in e-commerce, based on Kapruka data and some research that we've done. That is phenomenal. Normally, industries grow at about 2 to 3% a year. So let's see what has happened to some companies. These are huge companies in the world. Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, Best Buy, Target, Walmart. Look at from 2006 to 2016, in 10 years, how much they have gone down in their stock value. 96%, 86%, 33%. What's at the bottom? Amazon. Can you read that number? They have increased by 1,934%. So you can see who's eating up everything, pretty much. Right? So there is no reason why this is not going to happen to Sri Lanka. Tell me one reason why this same scenario will not happen to Sri Lanka. It's happening all over the place. Right? I mean, just look at Alibaba. In 2004, they sold $80,000 of goods. 2016, they sold $550 billion of goods. Right? So this is happening in India, this is happening in China, it's happening in everywhere. So let me tell you a very simple example, how you can do e-commerce and why e-commerce will obviously take over Sri Lankan retail market. So let's say I have a $50 pen. I asked Gayangi here to give me an expensive looking pen and this is what I got. It's not, okay, imagine this is a $50 pen. And the cost price of this pen from the manufacturer is about $30. Okay? You sell it in Odell, or you sell it in a big mall, They have to pay for the retail manager, the advertising, the marketing, the parking, the leasing of the building, the air conditioning, all that, and they have to sell it at $50. This exact same branded pen. Now imagine the same pen that I am selling from a warehouse. Okay. It's sitting in a corner rack in a box, and one guard outside the warehouse, and maybe few other staff doing the fulfillment. Look how much I'm cutting it down. Now the same pen, same cost. It cost me also $35. It cost Odell also $35. But I can sell it for about maybe $2 or $3 of a margin. Okay, and home deliver the pen. So what we are seeing today, or also what's happening here is people are going to these shops, sitting in front of the pen, and using your mobile phone, you order it from Amazon. Okay, that's the trend. It's going to happen. So you know what you want. You sometimes use the retail shops as a display, but you order it online. Okay. So now, what I want to show is one more example, a quick one. Look at a kettle, an electric kettle for 3,500 rupees in Puttalam town. Okay. It's 3,500 rupees in Puttalam town because there's only 2 or 3 shops that you can actually maybe buy this kettle from. Now this same kettle is in Colombo for about 2,000 rupees. Same kettle, nothing different. Okay, same SKU. So now this customer in Puttalam puts a mobile phone, goes to Kapruka or goes to Ikman or goes to Daras, any retail website in Sri Lanka, and finds the same kettle for 2,500. He's in Puttalam. And he presses a button and we deliver it to his house. Right? Why is it so expensive in Puttalam? Because it goes from hand to hand to hand and there's a lack of choice there. Right? So there's so much of e-commerce pull that we are seeing from out of Colombo. Even to Puttalam, we have about 30 to 40 orders sometimes a day just going to those areas because they have a higher demand in buying products online. They have less choice. So let's see very quickly how you can get into e-commerce. So I always call this inclusive e-commerce because I want more and more people to do e-commerce. That way, as an industry, it grows. That's how I look at it. Like, why is Tesla today? They opened up all their patents. They opened up all their patents. That's never heard of. They had like hundreds of patents. They opened it up because so more people can make electric cars, so the industry will grow. Right? So that's my vision, and that's why I want to go through this and show you how easily you can get in. So e-commerce, I said, is as a gold mine, right? So you need some mining tools. Can't you build a website? Everybody here, come on. It's nothing, right? Building a website. There's Magento, there's you name it. There's so much of all the tools are there. Even Shopify can give you a website in half an hour. So don't you have anything to sell? I mean, on your way home, see how many shops you're passing. There are so many ways that you can source things. You can import products from Alibaba. You can produce products. You can, that's not a problem. So can't you get a payment gateway? You can, right? It's still easy, pretty easy. You can even do cash on delivery. You don't need a payment gateway. So no marketing budget. It's not a challenge because there's Facebook marketing, there's Google ads. All those are not as expensive as retail marketing, right? These you can do for $100 so much of bang that we could never do before. At the end, I'll show you some examples of how to do that. But what about island-wide delivery? That's a tough one, right? So if you give it to a company to deliver the product that is not capable of handling e-commerce deliveries, they can mess it up, and the customer will be disappointed, and they'll never order again. That's one of the reasons, actually, of the real success of Kapruka is because of excellent fulfillment services, how we deliver the product from A to B. So what I did is I quit my job at Kapruka 6 months ago. I actually stepped down, from the CEO position. I have a great CEO now working there, and I'm staying as chairman. And I started a new venture called Grasshoppers. This is all about giving the mining tools to people like you who will start e-commerce. Those mining tools, especially the last one, that is in Grasshoppers, and it is all about giving delivery services for small businesses to do e-commerce. So let's, I give you the whole country. It's not just a certain area. It's to Batiklo, it's to Mana, there are 43 big towns in Sri Lanka. We are only talking about Colombo, and looking at Colombo like a keyhole. There's 43 big towns, Kandy. There's so much of need from those, e-commerce requests coming from there, but you can fulfill if you use Grasshoppers. It's a very unique company. The whole company is only about 20 people, including its CEO. But we have thousands of riders. It's the Uber or Pick Me model of delivery. So these thousands of riders who are self-employed. And these riders make a lot of money. For example, imagine you are in WTC and you want to get a Pilla House Kottu. Okay? You call Pilla House and ask for a Kottu. Pilla House press a Grasshopper button. Grasshopper comes in a bike, picks up the Kottu and delivers it to you for 110 rupees. That is the delivery charge, right? In addition to that, he'll collect the money for the Kottu, of course. So do the math. Let's say we give 10 deliveries for lunchtime for the same rider. How much he gets? By the way, he gets to keep 100 rupees, and Grasshoppers takes 10 rupees. Okay? So 10 deliveries, he gets $1,000, right? So let's give him another 10 deliveries during dinner time. He makes 2,000 rupees a day. So already per month, 60,000, right? So let's give him another 10. You can, in the evening time, you can give him another 10 small deliveries. He makes 90,000, right? He makes 90,000 a month. Why? Because, there is nobody else. There are no buildings, there are no other managers, there's no marketing, there's all that is removed, and the whole thing goes to the grassroots level people who are doing the work, the riders. So that's why actually the meaning behind the Grasshoppers has a lot of things, but one of them is to empower the grassroots people. Now, we are trying to really reduce the cost as much as possible, to give the delivery service to e-commerce companies for almost nothing. So one of the things, everybody talks about drone delivery, right? Like even Amazon is talking about it, and I don't see that really happening in a practical way. A drone is not going to come to your house and land and give you a package and go, not for a long time, okay? It's just marketing gimmick. But at Grasshoppers, we found a very unique way of doing drone delivery, thanks to what? Thanks to the shape of Sri Lanka. Okay, I'll get to that in a bit. So we built a drone. This can carry 3 laptops. Okay, 3 and 2 laptops and a set of coffee and a lot of things like that. Okay. Why? No, so flying this to your home and landing and going back, that's never going to happen, right? That's just kind of science fiction, and it's illegal. They'll shoot it down. So the trick here that we developed is, let me get back to this slide. You're not supposed to fly a drone on top of civilian areas, on top of a house, because you might drop the laptop on a house, right? You are not supposed to, if it is even a wedding or a function, you are not supposed to send it out of sight. Okay, you have to be able to see the drone. So these challenges these are universal rules in all these countries. So you cannot practically send a drone from Vallavatta to Nigambo. You can't do that because it will have to fly over something. But we are an island, right? Nothing says I cannot fly over the ocean on the beach line. So the Grasshopper hubs are set up in a way, majority of the hubs are going to be on coastal areas. So the middle mile, so there are 3 parts to deliveries, right? There's a first mile where we go and pick up the product from you, the merchant. And there's a middle mile where the big journey is done. And there's a last mile where a rider goes to your house and gives you the product. But the middle mile, we are going to try to do with the drones where it is feasible on. right? From the Negombo hub, from Vellavatha hub to Negombo hub, just dash it down there. Right? So we can only do this because we are an island. This is not possible in any other country setup. So I'm just trying to show you why I showed you this was to show you how optimistic we are about cutting down the cost of that. You will see some demonstrations, pretty soon on our channels on Facebook, etc., on this. And let me quickly wrap up by the challenges in e-commerce. So there are two challenges if you actually start a website, right? One is, how do you get the market data? What do you want to sell? What are you going to sell? There is a lot of, look at the top keywords right now. If you go to Google Keyword Analyzer today and select Sri Lanka, okay? First of all, filter Sri Lanka. So you are only looking for keywords that Sri Lankans type. And type online. And you're going to get these words for this year. About 4 years ago, if you typed online, it's going to be another word that starts with P. I can't say that here. But, these are the real words, actually, top listings as, a few hours ago that comes up. And there is zero competition on these, right? There are no ads on these. It's a wide open space for you guys. It's a 0.01 cent beginning bid you can do and put up an ad for online shoes. Buy the shoe from DSI and sell it online. You can still do that. Right? So this is that. And the second challenge is marketing. If you're starting a new brand, if you don't have a lot of capital, you cannot really market. So obviously, you're going to say, okay, Facebook marketing, right? But you all make a big mistake when you come to Facebook marketing. What happens is you go and push products in front of people in social media. How do you feel if you are like in a coffee shop and you are talking with all like six people and a guy comes in middle of you and shows you a phone and says, you want to buy this? You get pretty annoyed, right? You don't buy that. That is how it is in social media. People go to Facebook, etc., to a different reason, and if you just push an ad on them with a product, the ROI of that is not that great. But if you put an ad on Google, when they're actually shopping for a phone, that has a huge conversion rate difference. But you can use Facebook for branding, especially Facebook for branding, but you can use it in a very unique way. I will just show up an example that we just did today. It's viral marketing. Can you read that? So we made this wallpaper, because there's a lot of ransomware out there. It's unique to Sri Lanka. And we labeled Kapruka on it and sent it viral. And we made actually a Facebook frame also. So then, you can put it on your frame on the Facebook, but it has a logo on it. Right? So these are unique stuff. Cost us nothing to brand your new company or new venture. So please, my message is, get onto e-commerce. This is the future. You saw how shops are shutting down. So, you guys are young and you are in this generation of being able to do big changes. And Grasshoppers is here not only for Sri Lanka. It's a huge plan. We are actually trying to take it to all developing countries, starting actually from Ethiopia. You might ask, why Ethiopia? Actually, Ethiopia has 15 airports. You might not know that, right? 15 airports. It's that big. Right. So there is a lot of space. I'm very optimistic about taking Grasshoppers to other countries. When a delivery happens in Ethiopia, when a delivery happens in Philippines, I want at least few cents to come back to Sri Lanka. When a phone sells and a Samsung phone is sold, some money goes to South Korea. Right? That's where the flagship brand was built. Right? Another one of the reasons why I use a Mobitel phone is that's the only network that no money goes out of the country. They didn't pay me to tell that. Yes. Been a Mobitel user for 10 years, I think, because very patriotic about it. So these are the mining tools. Good luck with e-commerce. Thank you very much.